Hey, it's Kim Commando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. Hey, I always like to welcome you to our shows with something super interesting. And if you thought that the iPhone was expensive now, oh my gosh, you better start saving your money, because coming in the fall, the brand new iPhone 15, they're going to have three pricey models. Are you ready for it? The iPhone 15 Pro, and then the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and wait, there's going to even be a more expensive one, the iPhone 15 Pro Ultra. Of course, that's the one that I want. And remember when the world freaked out about no headphone jack on the iPhone 7? That was back in 2016, calling it the worst possible mistake Apple has ever made. Well, the iPhone 15 Ultra is not going to have any ports. That's right, nothing. No way to charge it by plugging it in. You're going to be charging it wirelessly. Okay, so how much is this bad boy going to cost? Well, considering that an iPhone 14 Pro Max is now $1,600, we're expecting the iPhone 15 Pro Ultra to be, yes, cha-ching, $2,000. Oh my gosh, so expensive. Hey, by the way, did you hear about the guy who's been stealing iPhones all over town? Are you ready for it? He's going to have to FaceTime soon. Ooh, and on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm, of course, America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Commando, here with you once again. And you're about to get more tech smarts, because every single thing now is a tech thing, isn't it? Hey, if you're a new listener to the Kim Commando Show, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here with us. And if you're already a listener, welcome back. Now, you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top stations throughout the United States, and we're streaming on demand 24/7 over inside the Commando community. You get a free 30-day trial. We've got discounts, I think, for everybody: seniors, service personnel, teachers, active military, vets, you name it. And you can check it out by going to commando.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, hit that link that says the Commando Community. Now, if you're listening on the radio, I love that. And just a reminder, you can get the show as a podcast Monday through Friday, wherever you get your podcast. Just search for Commando with a K. And you want Kim Commando Today. And I'm sure you have at least a few questions about, I don't know, something in your digital life that I can lend a hand to. And that's why our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. All righty. Every single day, I go to at least 30 different websites so that you don't have to do this. And I can bring you up to date on all things digital. And let's start with 5 things that you need to know is happening right now. And we're going to begin with Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. Yes, come on, sing the song with me. Dun, 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 dun. All right, that was pretty bad. Sorry about that. Anyway, Harrison Ford's back and premiering at the Cannes Film Festival thanks to AI. There he was. That's right, with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. They say this is the 5th and also the last Indiana Jones film. Harrison Ford opens the movie with a flashback, requiring him to appear just as he did in the first Jones film shot back in, you remember, 1981. Well, he was only 32 years old then, and today he's, 80. So what happened? Cue the AI de-aging software. So Professor Jones is at it again, fighting the Nazis from New York to Sicily. But when the camera quickly zooms in on young Indiana's eyes, this is where I want you to pay attention, because the software just cannot seem to keep up. And the eyes in AI always tell it all. Indiana's artificial intelligence eyes, it looks more like maybe a video game character. I found it incredibly disappointing to see. So critics, they're giving the movie mixed reviews. People are saying, that's not overwhelming, it's fun, but I don't know. I hope it's a blockbuster. But why didn't Indiana Jones have a Nokia phone? Why didn't he have one? You ready for it? Because he was too afraid of the snake game. Yeah, I know. Number 2 on our list of 5 things, the coming brain chip implants. I mean, could you imagine any situation where you would accept a brain chip implant? I know what most people would say, but here's why you should never say never. Elon Musk's other company, Neuralink, and then another company called BlackRock Neurotech, they've both been given FDA's permission to begin testing their coin-sized brain chip implants. Okay, here's how it's going to work. They have wires smaller than a human hair and extends from the implant and connects directly to certain parts of the brain. Now, the surgery to put the brain chip implant only takes 30 minutes. And I don't know how this is going to work, but Elon Musk says that you won't need any anesthesia either. I don't know. I couldn't take the anesthesia. Terrible progressive neurological diseases such as ALS and say Parkinson's or even Alzheimer's, could be stopped because the device is going to instruct the brain not to make all these debilitating changes. So for someone who can no longer speak, this is pretty amazing. The chip will send the person's thoughts by a text message or just by their thoughts. They can control wheelchairs, prosthetics, or even iPads. So this is not, say, 20, 30 years from now. This is actually happening right now. Next on our list, coming in at number 3, 70 million Americans lost $40 million to phone scams last year. Wow. And if you think you're above it, think again. This growing scams are now calling you from a foreign country, the Bahamas or maybe the Dominican Republic. And when you answer, your phone's account is automatically hit with a steep charge just by answering the call. And they say that the calls can originate from more than 20 different Caribbean countries. And there's no way you're going to memorize all the area codes. So the question is this legal? Well, in America, yes, but not in the Caribbean. So what do you have to do? Your best defense is never answer a call from a number that you don't recognize. And if it's legitimate, remember the caller, they will leave a voicemail. Now, if you also get a call that more or less sounds like a relative saying, "Oh, I need some money, I'm stranded," just know that's a scam call too. And AI is deep faking voices left and right. All AI needs is just 3 seconds of somebody's voice in order to fake it. So that's why I'm also recommending that if you don't recognize the call, don't just pick it up and say hello, because then they can just deep fake your voice. Coming in at number 4, a California startup will actually pay you for your personal data. That's right. A tech company finally admits that its primary purpose is to collect all your personal data and sell it to anybody that they can. But this is different. Unlike Facebook, Twitter, Google, TikTok, and all the others who've been caught red-handed just taking all of our data, this company is actually going to pay you. Well, in a way. And I actually find this refreshing. Telly is a California startup company and exists for just one purpose. It's going to collect all your personal data and then sell to the highest bidder. But instead of being all sneaky about it and having illegal schemes like Facebook's Cambridge Analytica scandal, this company is just upfront. Hey, give us your data, and we are going to give you a $1,000 55-inch television for free. That's right. Now, over 100,000 folks have already registered. They say mostly Gen Z and millennials, which makes sense because, let's face it, they can't remember a time when a smartphone was not collecting their data. But that free TV is also set up to automatically spy on you, so just keep that in mind. If you need more information about this Telly, I did a whole write-up about it over at commando.com, as well as the link so you can check it out too. All right, last, this coming in at number 5, the stealth wealth. This is really fascinating. Well, thanks to TikTok and the HBO smash hit Succession, which, by the way, I totally loved that show. If you did not see Succession, just put that on your list of things to watch. It's really amazing. But anyway, it came up with this new internet buzzword. It's called stealth wealth. Now, it actually was the German century American architect. It was actually the 20th century German-American architect Ludwig Miles van der Rohe, who first coined the phrase that less is more. And so he brought us modern straight lines and buildings without all these ornate add-ons. Well, today, less is more is not in vogue. Now people say stealth wealth, meaning that you've got a lot of money, but you're flying under the radar. So displaying all your fashionable names is totally out. So what is in is a casual, uncaring look. So that's why you see a lot of wealthy folks like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. They're wearing just regular pants and a T-shirt. But you may not know is that there's no logos there. But I have it on good authority that both Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, they are wearing one trendy brand name. It's super expensive. Brunello Cucinelli. It's from Italy. And like, for example, a gray T-shirt from Brunello Cucinelli is not $55. It's not $10. It's probably more like $400, just to let you know. But anyway, back to stealth wealth. iPhones with no cases. Elon Musk, Jay-Z, Jeff Bezos, all the rich folks, okay, they are now carrying their phones with no cases. And the message is obvious. I mean, no case, no problem. I can just afford it. So if you want to look rich, what you want to do is ditch the case, because if you drop it, you're going to have to be ready to cough up, well, $1,200 or more for, say, a brand new phone. And think about this. 100 years ago, everybody rode horses around, and only the wealthy could afford cars. Well, today, everybody drives a car, and only the wealthy can afford horses. Think about this. My, how the stables have turned. All right, coming up in this jam-packed show, we're going to talk about how you can earn money on the side by taking surveys. The best day to book your travel online. It's changed, by the way. And we're going to have a tip about how you can see all the data that your car's collecting about you. Oh, and then later on, I've been getting this question a lot. How you can really know if there's a hidden GPS tracker in your car. And of course, we have all of your fantastic phone calls. And you have me, Kim Commando. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And if you're not getting my newsletter called The Current, you are just missing out. Every single day I send out this fabulous newsletter. It only has one ad in it. It's just loaded from top to bottom. And it's something that, well, if you used to get our newsletters, you're like, oh, Kim, they just sucked. They were horrible. I hated them. Well, come on back because you're going to love them. I guarantee you. Head over to getkim.com to subscribe and sign up right now. You're going to be really glad that you did. That's getkim.com. How about we start with Nancy in Reno, Nevada?
Hi, Kim. I first want to tell you I love your show, and I'm really appreciating your daily emails that I signed up for.
Oh, great. Are you getting the ones every morning?
Yes. And they're very helpful, very informative.
Awesome. Good. Thank you. Because we've worked, I revamped all the newsletters. And so I'm always anxious to get some feedback from people who are actually reading them because before the newsletters, they were full of just a whole bunch of junk ads and clicks. And now now we try to put everything in the newsletter that you might want to know. And I'm actually the person, Nancy. There's nobody else doing that. Just picking every piece of content in there. So I'm happy to hear that you're appreciating.
Oh, yeah. It's great. Thank you.
So what's going on?
I am a yoga teacher, and starting with COVID, I was recording my classes on Zoom. And I have about 85 classes, some as short as 20 minutes, some as long. The majority are closer to an hour. And I'm paying a lot of money to have them stored on their system, and I was wondering how I could download them and then save them and organize them. I don't know if I need an external drive, or I don't really know how to do it and then how to organize it, and I was hoping you could help me.
Well, first of all, it's really easy to download your saved videos from Zoom, and we can give you those steps to do that.
Can I do them all at once, or do I have to do them one at a time?
Yeah, you're going to have to do them one at a time.
Oh, that was my
last time. Unless they changed. Last time. Last time I downloaded a Zoom video was, I don't know. I want to say a year and a half ago, Nancy. So they may have changed it, but otherwise you're going to have to do it one at a time. But that's not a big deal. You just sit there, you hit download, and while you're, watching something on Netflix, right? It's not a huge thing. And just make a list, and then it will actually tell you which ones that you've already downloaded, so you know that. Okay, so you're gonna download them and put them on your computer, depending upon what the storage is on your device, however you're going to download to it. And then you're going to set up a YouTube video channel. And what you can do is make this private or public.
Okay.
And if it's private, nobody can see those videos unless you say that you can see it.
Okay.
And then, of course, if it's public and somebody types in, yoga for stress relief, and you come up and they watch the whole thing, maybe you'll make a few bucks along the way, right?
Right.
So that's one side of it. Now, there's also other platforms like Yoga International, NamaStream, or Glow, that's GLO.
Okay.
And these allow you to share your recorded classes with folks who are actually paying for yoga classes. So you'll get just a little piece of the action, but they allow you to organize it. You can set up like Nancy's fabulous yoga channel from Reno, Nevada, whatever you want to call it, or Nancy, the best yoga teacher in the entire universe.
I like you more.
So, see? So there, you have a couple of options. So you can put them up on YouTube, and this way you're not paying. And then, as I said, make them public or private. We'll send you some links to this. And then just think about other ways that you can monetize these videos, because there's no sense just letting them sit there and rot, right? So, well, not rot. You know what I mean?
Right. Right now, people are paying me. They're paying me every month to have access to the entire library, but there's nothing stopping them from downloading and using them without paying me anymore. So, that's been an issue.
Unfortunately, that's what happens on the internet. I mean, and if it's on YouTube, if somebody steals your stuff, you can always do a copyright infringement and then make them get it down. One of the things that you need to do, if you haven't already, is I want you to look at the bottom of my website. Go all the way to the bottom at commando.com. And then there you're going to see a whole bunch of legal mumbo jumbo. Okay? What it is that I have trademarked my name, my likeness, my image, and the digital goddess, the digital diva, just commando, so that this way, if somebody steals my stuff, Nancy, I go right back at them and I say, listen, you're violating a trademark. And then these internet companies, that's when they go, whoa, okay, right? So otherwise, you're just going to be in this limbo land of like, oh, yeah, okay, Nancy, we'll get to you whenever we can, So might be worth it if this is happening a lot and you are truly going to become the best yoga teacher in the universe and everybody's going to want to follow you, is that you start looking at, I'm not a lawyer, can't give you legal advice, I'm just telling you what I did because it gives you some legal protections. Hey, speaking of Zoom, they just unveiled a new AI feature that maybe you might be interested in this. What it's going to do is generate a summary just in case you miss a meeting. And so you were supposed to automatically go to this meeting, maybe you forgot, then in your inbox there's going to be a link and says, okay, here's the summary. So I was thinking about this. This is really great. You can skip that whole Zoom ordeal and just read a summary that captures the essence of the monotony that you've been spared. Thank you. Finally, a great Zoom feature. You can set it up for free right now. I think they're just rolling it out just so folks can get a feel for it. Again, if you have a Zoom account, again, it's called a new AI feature. It's just going to generate these summaries for the missed meetings. All right, let's talk about how you can earn some money on the side with online surveys. Okay. Just want to tell you about this. You're not going to get rich quick overnight. You're not going to generate tens of thousands or even thousands of dollars a month by taking online surveys. But what you can do is maybe some extra money to go out to dinner, or maybe you're just trying to save $50 a month for Christmas presents, whatever it may be. Because these surveys usually only pay just a few cents to maybe a few dollars. Now, the good news is that you can take a lot of surveys while you're doing other things, say like sitting there on your butt doing nothing, watching television. So one popular survey site is called Survey Junkie. Now, to get started, you just sign up for an account, you fill out the profile, and then you take surveys for cash or points that are redeemable for gift cards or maybe PayPal cash. Now, the amount earned for each survey, it isn't big, but it can add up. Now, another favorite is branded surveys. It asks your feedback and opinions on products and services. And just like Survey Junkie, you collect these points. And last on our list is Swag Bucks. That's over 20 million people use this one. In exchange for taking surveys, you actually earn rewards. Now, by the way, if an app or site promises riches, it's just a scam. Hey, stay right where you are. We have more of the show coming up. All right, what's the best day to book online to get the cheapest flights? Because we're all ready to fly again. We're all sitting there going, oh, I can't wait to go somewhere. But what's the best day to book your flight online? Now, for so many years, it was just cheaper to book a flight online on a Tuesday, but that's not the case anymore. Now, according to Expedia, they put out this whole 2023 air travel hacks report that nobody should have to read, and I did the heavy lifting for you so you didn't have to, is that Tuesday is no longer it. The best day of the week to book is, drumroll please, Sunday. Now, knowing that it's Sunday isn't the only tool that you can use to get a great deal. What you want to do is take another look at a search site called Skyscanner. I like it because its price tracking feature scopes out flight prices over time. And then if you sign up and get an account there, it's going to send alerts when the prices change. Super handy. Now, Google Flights, of course, I know people are saying, oh, Cam, Google Flights does the same thing. Yes, it does. And it lets you search for flights and set up price alerts for specific routes and travel dates. And I will tell you, whenever I'm looking for a flight, that's where I start out, Google Flights, because I like to be able to see all the different airlines. And I also like to search by how long it's going to be to travel and also how many stops, because, gosh, anytime you stop, it's going to be a chance for you to miss a connecting flight. Then there's also AI Hopper app. It's a mobile app that offers price predictions for flights, hotels, car rentals using AI algorithms. You're going to get a pretty accurate prediction about when the prices are going to rise and fall. But again, always start at Google Flights. That seems to be the best way. All right, coming up, we have a great tip about how you can see all the data that your car is collecting about you. It's pretty telling. And then later on, what are some telltale signs that a hidden GPS tracker is somewhere on your car? I'm going to tell you more about that. And back to your great phone calls we go with Ray in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Hi, Kim. You have inspired me.
Oh, what happened?
You had a guy on your show about a month ago called the Tech Fairy,
Yes.
who's giving computers to disabled people.
Yes.
Well, I got to thinking I could do that. And I've got a 40-year PC career that's winding down, and got time on my hands. So I've gotten about 20 Dell all-in-ones that I've given about 10 of them away.
Oh, my gosh.
And looking for people to give the rest to.
Wow.
So I am doing that, and you inspired me, and I'm grateful.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
It's been very rewarding.
That's so wonderful. Now,
giving to people recovering from.
I was going to say, Ray, how are you finding the people to give these to?
Well, I went on Next Door Neighbor, which is what he said he was doing. And other than that, I'm having difficulty getting the word out. I thought I'd go to some churches and things like that. We participate in a drug rehab group because I had a daughter who had a drug addiction. And so I'm giving them to rehab people who are in rehab, to disabled or handicapped folks. So that's been an exciting change in my life, and I would thank you for that. But my question for you
that's great.
is my son's mother-in-law was recently widowed and has been diagnosed with Lewy body dementia. And before she was widowed, I spent several trips going about 40 miles to her house to help her with her hacked passwords. Come to find out, she was changing the passwords on her Comcast email and various websites and forgot that she did it. And she's now in a memory facility. She has a Surface laptop we want to provide her with. But we're afraid that if we do that, she's going to start changing all of her passwords. And I wanted to know, with Windows 10, is there some way that we can stop her from changing the passwords on these various websites, or have some control over that?
You're in a really tough spot, Ray. What you could do is to put in a password management program, right? So this way she'd only have to remember one master password, but I don't know if she'd be able to figure out how to change that. You may be able to use a fingerprint scanner, either external or with that Surface, and then that might eliminate the need for passwords altogether. But see, here's my problem with all these solutions, Ray. It's a Band-Aid. I always like to get to the root of the problem. I mean, her changing passwords is a symptom of the problem. It's not. The problem is that she has a Surface, and it's going to be really difficult for you to always maintain control of this Surface if she's able to get in there and change the password willy-nilly. And if she can change the password, she knows how to get around any type of parental controls. You could try that. But is there a reason why she needs to have a laptop per se?
No, she loves being on Facebook, and that's how she communicates with her friends. And so we want to provide her a way to do that, and a way to get on the web and surf the web, but not to get in trouble.
Okay. All right. So what I would think about getting her is maybe an iPad that if somebody in the family has an iPhone, they can set up the parental controls. And with the parental controls, they can disallow her from changing passwords, from making in-app purchases. That's also the other thing I was concerned about. Getting suckered into some of these solitaire games where people say, for another $50, you'll be able to win $2,000. Of course, that never happens. So they make it look so convincing, especially as somebody who may have some impairment issues.
Yeah, I have an old iPad I'm not using. Would that work for her?
Yeah, that would. You know what? I would pull that out and I would set that up for her, and I'd put the icons right where she needs them. The big old Facebook icon, and maybe some games that you've downloaded. You know that they're going to be good for her. Maybe a link to, say, CBS News, so she just has to touch that, and then we'll pull it up on YouTube. So think about things that she would like to use, so there'd be no need for her to change a password or to do anything like that. And then with parental controls on it, Ray, you still have complete control, so you're not going to be worrying about like I mentioned, these in-app purchases or her going someplace that's going to be just a complete nightmare for you guys and gals to fix afterwards. So pull out that iPad and then set up those iPad parental controls. And I think that's going to be the perfect fix for you. And I am just so dang proud of you, what you're doing, Ray, and fixing those computers and being that tech fairy that we need in Chattanooga, Tennessee. You're pretty awesome. And thanks for carrying that flag for us all in Chattanooga. Now, if you do have an older family member, I always want to mention the Amazon Echo Show, because with it, you could just put this on somebody's table next to their chair by their bedside, and then they can answer calls hands-free. They can video calls, watch calls. It's a speaker, watch the news. It's a speakerphone. And just keep in mind, too, that you can drop in on them and they can drop in on you without them having, again, to pick up any type of device. And just this past week, I read about this, and I actually put it in our free newsletter, so you may have heard about it, read about it there, is that there was a woman in Texas. She was 69 years old, and she says that Amazon's emergency contact feature actually saved her life. See, here's what happened. She collapsed. She has heart issues, and she did not have her phone on her. So she simply said, I'm not going to say the A word, call 911. And then the Echo actually called her daughter first, and then the daughter called paramedics, and then the paramedics came over in a jiffy and then saved this woman's life. So again, anybody who's older in your family, this is really some life-saving technology. And if you do have an Echo, make sure that you set it up right now, if you haven't done this already, to have those life-saving features. We've got all the steps on how to do it over on the website. That's commando.com. All right, let's talk about these new cars, because really when you look at it, they're just computers on wheels. The average car nowadays has over, you ready for it, 1,400 microchips in it. That's a lot. And because your car is connected, it means that it also collects a lot of data about you. So your car is like your phone, your computer, your tablet. It's always listening. It's always collecting info. But what exactly is your car collecting? Well, there's a website that will help you figure all this out. It's called the Vehicle Privacy Report. Now, the company deletes synced personal data from used cars before they're resold. And this is how that company makes their money. And then on the flip side, it's also how car makers are complying with privacy laws. So what you want to do is you head to privacyforcars.com, enter your car's VIN, and then the tool spits out privacy policies about your car and your data. So you may see things like your address, your email address, your driver's license, location data, biometrics, voice recordings. Once again, that's privacyforcars.com. And I put my car in there, and I was really surprised that they're actually selling all my data to the government. Oof. It wasn't making me happy about that. Privacyforcars.com. All right, stay right where you are. I'm going to tell you how you can find a hidden GPS tracker in your car. And of course, we have more of your phone calls here on Kim Commando today. All right, Craig in Detroit, Michigan, you're up next.
First of all, I want to say I've enjoyed your columns in the Detroit Free Press and USA Today, so it's a pleasure to talk with you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, my wife and I go camping, and we have a Roku on a TV set in the camper. Mm-hmm. And campgrounds have no internet, of course. So we've been using hotspot features of our cell phones.
Sure.
But we run out of data. We reach our hotspot data allowance limit after only a few days. So I've been starting to shop for hotspots, and it's really confusing.
Well, the hotspots, you're going to probably run out of data, or it's going to cost you more for overages. There are things that you can do so that you don't run out of it in 3 days, and you can adjust, say, the streaming quality. So instead of having everything on the Roku at, say, ultra high definition or high def, is that you can lower it down to standard def. And this is a lower quality setting. It's not going to look that good, but it's going to significantly reduce the data usage. You can also see if you can download some stuff offline before you leave the house, so that this way you're not even using the internet when you guys are, camping out there in the woods and enjoying nature and still wanting to watch The Handmaid's Tale or whatever you want to watch. You also want to limit things like any type of updates that your devices may be getting, and take a look at the background data that's being used. There's also some low data modes. I mean, these are all things that you can do that to possibly extend. It's probably 50 gigs that you have.
Yeah,
that they're giving you.
Yes.
Okay, so then you're going to put in an ad blocker, and I can send you a list of all this, and then you're going to limit anything that goes in the backup, or anything that you're backing up in the cloud. So you want to just really like say, okay, just when we're camping, we're only going to do X, Y, or Z. Okay.
Right.
Now that said, do you guys go camping a lot?
Well, see, that's the thing. A lot of these, hotspots kind of count on you paying for it year round, and we only really go camping, during summer months.
How do you get your internet at home?
Through my cable provider.
I'm just going to throw a curveball at you, okay? If you cancel the cable provider and you sign up for Elon Musk's Starlink, you know about Starlink?
I've read a little.
Okay, what Starlink is it's this little antenna. It's about the size of an iPad. You put it on your roof or wherever you want to have it, and it connects to satellite internet access. And unlike the old satellite internet access that had really bad latency and really high prices and really expensive equipment, Starlink isn't like that. He being Elon Musk, he really has a home run here. And I can tell you from my experience, I have it at 2 homes, and I also have it on a boat. So this way I have internet access. Now, one of the things that you might want to consider, and maybe you'd actually go camping more if you could figure out the whole internet thing, right? Is right. that you get Starlink at your house, cancel your cable as far as your internet service, and sign up for Starlink. It's about $100 a month, and it's $600 for the year. But they have something called portability. And what the portability does, for $25 more a month, you can take that internet with you. Okay? And as long as...
I'm sorry, what was it called?
It's called portability. And for $25 more a month, whenever you need it, you take that Starlink with you from your house, and you take it with you in your RV. And you have all the download speeds that you need. There's no caps. There's no limit. And guess what? It also works where there's no cell phone coverage. So if you guys decide, hey, listen, we're going to go down in this canyon in the middle of Arizona, and then meanwhile the wifey looks at you and says, oh, gosh darn it, if I could only catch up on the rich housewives of Beverly Hills. And you're like, sweetheart, I am here to serve you, right? Then you can just... You take that Starlink antenna out, and then you've got it all good to go. And then don't forget, you also have VoIP. You can do phone calls and everything else like that. So you're going to run into these options with the hotspot, because like 50 gigs in 3 days, you guys are just like, you're just blowing through it. Okay, so right. I would take a look at a different solution, and that being Starlink, so that this way you can take the internet with you. It's only $25 a month, which is less than what you're going to be paying. And then you only pay for it when you actually need it. And then you're not worrying about running out of juice after 3 or 4 days. It's just kind of crazy. I mean, yeah, you can rent these by the month. I know that. But sometimes I find that if we give a solution rather than just a Band-Aid, that it really will help, enhance your whole digital life, and just saying, okay, well, here's a stopgap right where we are right now. So take a look at that, Craig. And then if you think like, I don't know, that's not going to work for me, just let me know and we'll talk about something else. My husband and I, we were planning an entire week of camping. And after 2 days, let me tell you, we just packed all our stuff and went home. We are never going to do that again. The entire situation was just too intense. Get it? I know. Got to explain it. It's just not. Okay, too intense. That was okay. I mean, it wasn't the best. All right, we'll just move on. All right, we figured out who are some people that are getting our newsletters. And there are some big names on this list, like folks that work for the FBI, NASA, nuclear security, Ivy League professors, students, electricians. And we've got a lot of teachers and professionals, small business owners. And so if you're sitting there saying, I just don't have time to keep track of all things digital, Kim Komando, help me, I want to make sure that you know that you can get my free daily email newsletter. Again, it's absolutely free, and you can sign up anytime. And if you want to be double sure, you can read our privacy policy, but I will let you know we're not going to sell, lease, distribute your email address to anybody ever. And you can sign up right now by heading over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. All right, let's talk about hidden GPS trackers in your car. Number one, if you hear any unusual buzzing, chirping, or beeping sounds, that could be a tracker transmitting some data. Be on the lookout, too, for some loose wires connected to a battery-powered, maybe hidden under the hood or in the glove compartment. Also, look out for any magnets or metal objects stuck to the outside of your car. These could be used to attach a tracker to the underside of your vehicle. Now, number 4 on our list is your car's battery life. If you notice a sudden drop, a tracker could be using it and causing battery drain. And finally, you get an alert from your iPhone about an unknown Apple AirTag tracker is near. If you're using an Android, make sure you get the app AirGuard to detect those Apple AirTags. Hey, be sure to tell 3 friends about the Kim Komando Show because knowledge is power.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.